What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of January 1st and the 2nd of 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Thank you all so much for the birthday love and all the birthday wishes. I'm so grateful for all of you and the love that you show me, and what a blessing it is. And this last year brought so many of you to this channel, and it strengthened the connection with the ones that were here before that. I'm so grateful. So thank you so much, and I hope that everybody's excited for the new year. I'm ready for it. It's time to go. We do have a new moon in Capricorn on Sunday, so this is definitely, we're kicking things off. Yes, it's the end of a calendar year and the beginning of a new calendar year, but it's really 10th house of the astrological calendar. When we look at Capricorn, and especially getting this new moon in Capricorn, it's really, kicking off that third quarter square, if you think about it that way too, of where things are going into the spring and all that we've learned since then. And even over just the 2021, gosh, a lot happened. So this is an initiation time. And I do think that having that integrity is so important. Also, super proud of myself. That was the first calendar year that I've put out a video every single day. I started this channel in 2020, and I did miss from the day I started, which was April 14th, up until the end of 2021. I missed 2 horoscopes in that time. But last year, 2021, I didn't miss 1 horoscope. And I'm a little proud of myself for that dedication. That was my own goal, of course, and I want to continue that. But yeah, felt good to knock out a whole year. And yeah, if you fact check me and go on my YouTube and go look, there was 6 months where I didn't post on YouTube every day. But that was because I was selling memberships on my website at that time. I stopped doing that because I wanted to reach more people and came back here to YouTube. But you bet your butt every day I hit. So proud of myself for that. And as we start this new year, what are you proud of yourself for that you learned or accomplished and are ready to take to the next level? We're in that time. All right, let's take a look at Saturday, though, getting into the astrology. Big day, sun's at 11 degrees Capricorn. I do want to give a happy birthday to Natalie Servin, Power in Numbers on Instagram. It's her birthday today. Natalie's awesome. She gave me a numerology reading that blew my doors off. Honestly, like in the reader world, you could say she read me to filth through my numerology. So if you're interested in numerology, Power in Numbers, power with a 0, not an O, but yeah, Power in Numbers. Outstanding numerologist. She's an 11 degree Capricorn and born today. So happy birthday, Natalie. Okay, back to the horoscope now that I'm done with all that. 11 degrees is, it's 1 and 1. This is you and you. It's critical. This is putting final touches on what 2021 was, but also what this last lunation cycle was, which was a solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and we're in a very balsamic dark moon phase. So I think that, we're really going to be critical, not only maybe of ourselves and where we want to go into this new year, but we might be hypercritical on expectations with where the world's going in society in Capricorn and what's going on with governments. There's definitely a lot of questions out there that are trying to get hashed out. But this moon in Sag is finishing up. It's going to go through the galactic center. It's coming off the squares to Neptune. And, it is going to quincunx the North Node. And, yeah, it is going to sextile Jupiter. So the moon's going to be doing some things. I think that when you have Jupiter here square these nodes, and already having our beliefs take a radical sort of shift as the sun's coming off, even a trine to Uranus, there are these radical doorways that are out there, but there's these like very spiritual ones that are very much more in a flow, and it's about really checking ourselves on our beliefs. And I think that's what the moon's doing, finishing this and then coming into a sextile with Jupiter is like, especially because when it comes into 0 Cap, and makes that sextile, this is really a very nice, friendly aspect about dedicating to the flow that you can be in. And not just like, I feel like we don't have to just press for things that aren't flowing. I think that's the biggest thing that could be showing up in our lives right now is there's certain places that we push so hard. And then there's certain things that, just flow. And there's something about the truth of that in your environments that if we can like shift what we're dedicating to and close out old stories and kind of like see where this destination can get to, by where is the universe really pushing us? You know, how much of a flow and even a surrender state with Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, like we have to somewhat give it up to the highest high, you know, and just see where that is pushing us. But this is where intuitively, like we can feel where we need to get serious. You know, we can feel where there's something of substance that's trying to be built in our lives. And I think that, you know, this Saturday, January 1st, it's almost like coming face to face with exactly where that flow is trying to take you. And it's about being able to shift our beliefs to flow with where God's trying to take us. But then it's about really, you know, hammering that home. Like there is a lot of earth in the chart, and especially as the moon comes into Capricorn and gets ready for this new moon tomorrow on Sunday, there's something really special about this change of belief in maybe ourself and how strong and how dedicated we can be to a purpose that we feel ultimately called to, that God has shown up with, that has just, it makes all the sense in the world. And it's kind of like really believing and trusting in yourself to do these things. It is the final day of Mercury in Capricorn. So Mercury's kind of like, woo, in shadow, dealt with Pluto. All right, saw the bottom of the barrel, tried to make sense of what it is we really want. And now it's kind of at this critical degree too, especially as the moon will be in that semi-sextile right there at 29 Sag. And then, yeah, gosh, there's so much about the past. And I think that's a lot of what Mercury and Pluto dug up too, was like this deep, like kind of a revelation, especially with a sun trine Uranus. Like there's some deep revelations that were kind of like understood in a more conscious way that really did make sense. And it's about that way. Those deep things that were uncovered held a lot of truth. Yes, we might come back and rehash some of the details, but there's something here about what you feel aligns with you on the deepest and most, really with your integrity. Like we're talking like your character, like that's Capricorn too. So like, where is your character? Where have you evolved to? Where are you going to start building and creating the outside life for the character that you are on the inside? And even that moon coming into Capricorn can want to like kind of just, you know, push emotion down or not, you know, feel, but I don't think we have a choice. I think there's so much that we have to feel into the character that we are and see how that can be pursued and how it can be projected out to hopefully like manifest these achievements we're looking for. So it is a big, you know, January 1st, I mean, just a balsamic moon. There's definitely a year closing out. There's a cycle closing out, an eclipse cycle's closing out. There is so much that we kind of want to say goodbye to. And as this moon finishes in Sag too, and the lunation and the solar eclipse in Sag, you know, any journey kind of involves like saying bye to something so that you can go into the new. And I think this weekend holds a lot of that. We also see Venus at 22 degrees. Always an interesting degree in Capricorn. It is where Saturn and Pluto conjuncted with Mercury and the Sun on January 12th, 2020. So interesting getting that second hit, and Venus now in retrograde. We could really be looking back, not just about 2021, but kind of like since 2020 and asking ourselves if we did the right things that make us feel good in life, or if we're, you know, there could be a lot of second guessing, I would say, that could be going on in the world. Is people really at this point of like, ever since that cycle, did people really dedicate to their deeper purpose, or did they let a fear get to them? And I'm not just talking about what you might think I'm talking about. This could be for relationships. This could be for money, a lot of aspects of life, but kind of having us rehash that. And very interesting too, you know, dealing with financial markets in general. And of course, Pluto's getting very close to 26 degrees, and Pluto's almost out of shadow, which it will be by the end of January. Same with Saturn, going to be out of shadow here, and Jupiter. So yeah, we have a lot of big energy that's about to really be going into some new territory that we haven't felt in a while. So I think that's, something that's pretty beautiful today. Where can we start picking up speed in life for the ultimate? Whatever that is that we're trying to really put our efforts into. And the moon will oppose Black Moon Lilith in Cancer. So, there can be a little bit of fear of, I guess, saying goodbye and dedicating to what really feels aligned and called to. And, and even if we are going back and like second guessing ourselves, it's not a time to get yourself in a position of putting it all on yourself. And even a sun at 11, like, it's a strong degree where we're going to analyze everything, but we don't want to guilt ourselves either. So this isn't a time to feel guilty. This is a time to feel kind of like, I don't know, I almost want to say set free. It's like how well did you position yourself in a moment right now to give yourself every benefit of the doubt and kind of free yourself from guilt and from fear instead of just putting it on you and putting it on and putting it on and putting it on. Sunday, we get that new moon at 12 degrees. This is going to be a new moon in, what is it? I can't pronounce it right now, so I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess it up. But this is a time where this is victory. This is expanding sort of like victory and ultimate wins in our life. That's what it feels like to me, is like we can really start, especially January 2nd. This is almost like when, if you want a New Year's resolution, if you want to put something into the universe and put that intent out there, this is where you could blow your mind with the things that you can dedicate. This is very powerful stuff. It is going to be trine Uranus in Taurus. Like, we're expanding out of the ordinary ways that we can create and build and find confidence and value that, I really feel like we're getting new unlocks here coming into 2022. So like pretty outstanding, but again, it's got to be for your highest character. It's got to be for what feels like purpose. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be work, but what the purpose is, and maybe aligning the purpose with work the more that you can, if that's something that you wish to do. I'll be honest, I get a ton of people that reach out to me and tell me they want to start doing some kind of spiritual work, but they never feel like they're ready. And I feel like this is something that I see as like people are ready to dedicate to their purpose right now. So I would predict in 2022, we see some people really step up and out of maybe their own comfort zone for the mission, because there's no more like sitting back. And I think that this new moon kind of initiates that for this 2022 year. Mercury is going to ingress into Aquarius. It is going to retrograde here, but this is some serious genius here. Like, Mercury in Aquarius, I almost want to give it exaltation, to be honest. Some people don't agree with that, but this is where logically you can really connect all the dots. And we are going to, Mercury's going to start slowing down. We're going to get a retrograde on the 15th, but nonetheless, this is a great time to really like wrap your head around the direction that you want to go. And I think that this is a direction to victory, especially in Capricorn. And it is the nakshatra that for whatever reason, it's slipping my mind. I'm just kind of learning more about the nakshatras, but it's Purva Ashwini or Ashada. I can't remember the name, but it's an elephant. And it is victory, and it is just powerful movement forward, and it's relentless. So there's something about us being relentless here in an extremely expanded way, but also in an extremely narrowed down way. So it's like just the focal point of the expansion and just hitting with everything you got here. It's also in semi-sextile to Saturn. So there's almost like that blind spot as they're closing out this Saturn. The sun's going to close out the sun-Saturn cycle. The moon's going to come towards there. So there is this like, we don't want to have a blind spot about what is the full connection, like where the full connections are in our life. And I think Mercury's helping with that. And even Jupiter is kind of showing like the biggest picture and letting us feel everything. Our intuition is so strong in these times. And I think having Black Moon Lilith come out of Cancer for this new moon is pretty awesome because, yeah, we can start logically overthinking things, but this is leaving us like primed to feel like plus. Like our feelings and our intuition can thrive right now. And it is in a out of sign trine to that Jupiter as well. So I'm digging this energy a lot. I think that it's really about the mission. It's really about feeling into and trusting that if you have to take a leap of faith for what God's telling you to do, it's going to project you into this 2022 year where you're going to be amazed at what you can build that maybe you never thought you could. And it's like, how do you hit that focal point? So I do think there's a ton of insight, a ton of like big picture, but that Mercury also in, Aquarius, I would say could have us like over want to experiment or have some complex around having like this perfect sort of answer to an equation that's not even possible to solve. So like give yourself some credit for what you have connected, and more is coming in. So you want to be open to really what your understanding is, electric and exciting and connected in your life. And I think that's going to be helpful for people. Mars, of course, is in Sagittarius. It's going to start heading over to that square to Neptune, which is going to be an interesting one coming up in the next week and a half. But for now, kind of in a good place. It's away from the South Node. It's not making any heavy aspects, really, other than coming off of the semi-square to Pluto and Mercury. But really, this is about, I would say, getting on our horse and dedicating to the expansive things that we feel are right. And it's like, just narrow those things down. And there's wins there. There's something powerful. Like, think like a river. Like, a river is just going to flow, and it's powerful, and it's strong, and it's beautiful. Like, that's what we want to go into this year with. And I think that's where this new moon in Capricorn's taking us, is this powerful, initiated moment of realizing that once you start going and once you have the flow and you're in that flow, you're an unstoppable force. So I think a lot of this weekend is about narrowing down what your flow is and just feeling and like asking questions to your senses to get your intuition really firing, because we're in a time of heightened intuition and heightened senses that are going to show us how to physically make magic happen. So I do hope that you guys are feeling the magic. We will close off January 2nd with the moon sextile Neptune. Of course, Venus at 22 degrees is pressing on a sextile to Neptune. So pretty dreamy, especially if you're in this flow that I can't get out of my mind right now. There's just such a direction, and there's no point in straying or breaking off, like, because there's something that you've been called to and that you are divinely inspired for. And any structure you can build to keep that flow in progress, you're going to see it's going to have a great payout and a great, there'll be great accolades at the end. So it is also, of course, a new moon in Capricorn. So big time for Saturn in Aquarius, big time for governments. It'll be very interesting to see, especially as the nodes shift, with the South Node coming into Scorpio on the 18th and Pluto being a dispositor for that, along with Mars. And they'll both be in Capricorn here for a while, soon enough. So government's very interesting. These first couple months of 2022 are... They're kind of going to test us, but this is where, again, it's really just about believing in your dedicated path and not getting thrown off your path. Like, this is go time. So, pretty beautiful for that. I hope you guys all feel that energy. Yeah. It's my birthday today, actually, because I record these a day ahead of time, and I'm so tired. It's crazy. So tired. But again, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you all so much. Wow, the moon card for a new moon weekend. It seems like the intuition is going to change. It's going to move you into the direction of the most powerful changes this weekend. And it's really about being in the flow. Like I couldn't not see that. And this card kind of like confirms that, because even the ocean, like it has its flow to it. Like sets come in at a certain time, it pulls back, it's up with the moon, down with the moon. Like this is where I think we can see a lot of the gems in life that we've been looking for, because it's a new moon, so the tides should be back. The tides usually come up for a full moon. And when the tides are down and back, you can always find some really nice little treasures. And I think this weekend's a time to kind of like look for the treasures and then see which ones you really want. And don't just take everything. This is a time to find the best and take those. And whatever those are they're absolutely going to bring the change that you want to see. But it can be a heightened emotional time, and that's going to be good. You want that heightened emotion. And we got that card because of the Nine of Cups in reverse. I would say this card kind of tells me like you are the genie of your lamp. If you want to create magic, you have to feel it. You have to put the intent out there, and you don't want to like look up for someone else to bring magic into your life. It's a Venus retrograde. It's just, this is the inner magic right now is within you, and that Venus is even starting to sextile Neptune. It's all there. You can make your wildest dreams come true and have complete bliss, but it's not like, it's just don't look outside. Like the change, and even getting that moon card, the change is really within you, dedicating to your senses and your feelings on every matter, and not restricting that. And the wild harmonic oracle today is Earth of Dimensional, creating sacred. Yeah, create some sacred space today, you know, this weekend. I like the footprints. I think that, you know, maybe Saturday we're feeling like we're just standing, and I think by Sunday we feel like we took a really powerful first step that is going to help us achieve and build, that was divinely inspired and in a flow. And it is for a sacred calling. You know, I think we are creating that sacred calling in a very powerful way. And it almost even looks like a dragonfly a little bit in the middle. It kind of a flower, but I got a dragonfly when I looked at it. And dragon, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go with the dragonfly. Maybe that means something to somebody. I don't have anything further that came in from that, but maybe somebody needed to hear dragonfly, and I'll leave it at that. But it's a great weekend to start and put the intent out there for your sacred mission, your dedication, because this is where the highest accolades and accomplishments of your journey can start, is right now. This is a big moment for people. So I hope that you feel inspired to start your year off in this way. I love you all very much. Have a great weekend. I'll see you for the weekly forecast, weekly tarot, and all the dailies next week. So much love. Sending you all my best. Bye.